Good morning, or afternoon, evening, night, depending what time zone you're in. So, March. March is usually a time for new beginnings, renewal, fresh start, spring cleaning. Spring is here. Everything's colorful. My garden's growing. Maybe winter is hard for you. So spring is kind of that signal that everything's gonna be okay. The sun is coming back and you're gonna feel its warmth. But it doesn't feel like that these days. We're hearing a lot of words like isolation, quarantine, shut down, locked in, distancing, and there's a lot of panic and disarray happening. People are struggling, and all of this is very, very triggering. I think it's triggering to everybody on different levels from different walks of life, because it's fear. There's a lot of fear going around. We don't know when things are going to open back up, and I think most of us have triggers and fears that we deal with regularly, and maybe we sleep it off or walk it off, or meet with friends for dinner to talk and sort it out. But in this moment in time, we can't do that. So what is it that we're feeling? What are the triggers? What's going on? What's the fear that we have? And how do we get through it? March hasn't always been a renewal, sunshine, and new beginning month for me. Many points in my life, all the months were hard, and March was no exception. Whether spring was here or not, there was just so much darkness that I didn't see the colorful flowers or couldn't feel the fresh air. So March 22nd to me is an actual rebirth, because on March 22nd of 2016, my life ended. And I literally was reborn. And I have taken that as a sign and an opportunity to really do something with it and talk about it, share, and make it a moment of real change. And that was hard, because I had to acknowledge the fact that I did have struggles and anxieties that I hadn't dealt with and I didn't know were there, and I had all these emotions and all these feelings that were going on, and I was just drowning in it. So after after I came back, it took me some time to figure out how to kind of come back from that. And I started working with girls that are survivors. And when March 22nd was rolling around, it was like, okay, we need to do something. We need to make that day special. And I said, we are going to spend the day doing good for other people. We're just going to spread joy and hope and inspiration, motivation. And we wrote down things that we could do, you know, donate to the children's hospital and buy homeless people food and do all these things. And we were sitting there writing the list, and one of the girls said, "Why did you try to kill yourself?" And all the other girls gasped, like, "You never ask that. You don't ask that to somebody. That's not a question that's okay." And I said, that is exactly the question that you ask. That is the stuff that we need to know, because that's when we can support someone and motivate them and help them through it, is because we understand what it is that's causing them to feel a certain way. And I want to ask you to read my story. Read about that night. Read about what happened and what I was feeling. And I want to know how you relate to it. What speaks to you? What do you understand? And what do you feel on your own level? And what do you do to help yourself take a step back and realize that you need some support, or you need some coping skills, or how do you reach out? And then I want to invite you to do some good for somebody. Right now it's really hard because there's so many restrictions, and that's one thing that I'm struggling with. Is I want to go out and do things and make an impact, because that day's important. But I'm feeling a little bit stuck. And I want to encourage you all to do something good for somebody else on my behalf, and take a picture, or, you know, a screenshot or something. And I'm going to be sharing pictures that have been sent to me over the last couple of years of people just doing things for others. And we've named the day the Switchback Effect, because it's kind of like when you're on a hike and there's all these switchbacks, and you're like, you know, it's just a winding, tiring road, and it's exhausting, and you just keep going back and forth, and you're out of breath, and you're tired, and you want to stop. And it's not until you reach the top that you realize that you made it, and it's amazing, and it's beautiful. And then affect is something that it changes things. Everything we do, everything we say, it affects our relationship and who we are and what our situation is and how we handle things and what we do with it. And that's important. So what are we doing right now in the midst of all of this, you know, stress and crisis and sickness? how are we handling it, and how are we supporting others? And if there's 2 loaves of bread at the grocery store, do we share one with the person that got there 2 seconds too late? I really want March 22nd to be the beginning of hope for everybody that this reaches, because I think we need it. I need it, and I would love the support and the encouragement, because the support that I offer to survivors and people that are struggling on different levels, it's very, very heavy. And I'm constantly filling other people's cups, because that's what I do, and it's what I love. And people are my thing, and so is gardening. But if my cup is empty and there's no water, then it's hard for me to do that. So I want everybody to just, share with me your struggles and your triggers and your hope and your peace and your love, and share goodness and kindness in the world today, and make it a habit and carry it on till tomorrow and the next day, because we need it. People need it. And it doesn't matter how small or insignificant you think your story is versus, somebody that really went through horrible things. You still have so much to give. And I know I receive encouragement daily from people that say I'm amazing, but I couldn't be amazing if I didn't have the example of everyone around me. So, March 22nd, the switchback effect, hope, peace, love, support, unconditionally, 24/7. Stay positive, stay healthy, and let's do it together. Thank you.